Wow, it seems like we might be in here a while. Good thing we have each other for company.
Indeed, it's interesting that you would say that.
Why?
Well, because as people I have noticed we form groups in all walks of life, even with strangers for seemingly unapparent reasons.
You mean being trapped in a cave is an inapparent reason?
No, but I mean outside of here. Oftentimes I imagine just moving to the woods on my own. People really put a damper on me sometimes.
Well, why's that?
My kids are constantly bugging me for money, my wife is huge and eats all of my hot dogs, and my friends make fun of my dirty clothes, yet I could not imagine life without all of them.
Well, it sounds like physically your family and friends put a damper on your life. Emotionally though you need them, correct?
Yes.
Well, if you consider various studies by the scientist Kaika Sui, it might make more sense. Simply having a partner or having a social bond with another animal allowed different animals to survive and diminish their stress, even if they may have to share food with these animals. Your family and friends play a vital role in your mental health, despite their negative qualities.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In that way, even you rely on others around you, simply for their presence in your life. Like me, keeping you company in here.
That is interesting. As humans living in the modern world, you would think the need for social groups would have disappeared.
What do you mean?
I mean that our ancestors probably needed to group up to catch prey and evade predators, but nowadays we simply have to go to the supermarket or buy a gun to gather food and protect ourselves.
See any supermarkets around here?
Very funny. I mean the normal person living in a society.
Well, if you look at it that way, it seems that social groups are even more important.
How do you figure? We do not need each other to go out and corner a cow to eat.
Yes, but we do need somebody somewhere to kill and cut up a cow for the steaks and hot dogs you might find at a supermarket.
But that is not a social group. That is just some guy that cuts meat. I never know him.
Yes, but you do know your parents who brought you into a small social group that is your family, which belongs to a larger social group which is people living in Texas, which belongs to a social grouping of states that all trade meat and other things between each other.
Huh.
Through small social groups, you are connected to a much larger social group that supplies you with the resources you need to be successful.
I guess when you put it like that, it would seem that we as people are more reliant on social groups than we are aware.
Yes, they are deeply ingrained in our lives.
Imagine if people were isolated from birth, they would probably be very disturbed.
Well, that would depend on your definition of disturbed, but yes, that seems valid. Interestingly enough, I remember reading about kids who lived in the wild their whole lives.
And were they violent and crazy?
Well, somewhat. Without society and other humans, they were more like animals than anything. They couldn't understand language, could not learn it, walked on all fours, ate most meat and foods raw, and developed heightened senses of smell or hearing.
Huh. Sort of like that movie The Jungle Book.
Yeah, something like that.
So if we are basically animals when absent of other humans, why does society continue to prosper?
Well, that's kind of obvious. Monkey see, monkey do. We learn how to act within society.
And we don't learn that without other people to show us.
Exactly. Nobody would know how to react to one another without established rules and manners. Furthermore, we would be horribly confused and unable to cooperate with each other for a greater good, like making factories to make those hot dogs your wife eats.
So you're saying that society is basically just the collection of things that our parents and other people teach us? We are not hardwired to cooperate?
Yes, basically.
So really without any person around we would simply be animals, running around on all fours and unable to speak?
Yes, basically. Our ancestors and everyone around us luckily have already established languages and moral issues for us. We do not need to relearn them as history has taught our ancestors, but merely to learn them from those around us.
So you could say that humanity does not exist without social grouping?
Yes, you could say exactly that. Without social grouping, we are no different than savage animals.
Well, I guess let's form up and build a fire. I am freezing.